idealism prevails. Make the world a better place.
So, Dr. Klose, it's a pleasure to have you here in Vienna. Welcome to Vienna.
My pleasure to be here, yes.
So, could you just maybe tell us, what is your finding about climate change and energy politics in general that you found out?
Well, it took me over an hour to give the talk, but there are any number of findings. The first, an important one that I discovered is that the IPCC has been running a major hoax in their promotion of a climate crisis. And I went through it, and I believe I have pinpointed where they are really lying and cheating and trying to assert that there is a climate crisis when there is none. They have not demonstrated the existence of a climate crisis. They have demanded the world spend trillions of dollars on what I consider a total hoax. That's kind of part one. And then I use some of the numbers from that I have gotten from their own notes and point out that, okay, one of the things that I assert is that they have totally misidentified the dominant process that is controlling the climate and the Earth's temperature. And I have an alternative process that I am now more than ever confident is totally dominant in controlling the Earth's climate, and that there is a built-in natural feedback system that involves clouds, and it involves the reflectivity of the clouds, the variation in the fractional cloud cover of the Earth. And what it does is it acts like a built-in thermostat, just like the thermostat in your house, that very powerfully stabilizes the climate. The earlier calculations that the IPCC did were totally wrong, and are wrong by a large amount. That this is like 14 times stronger than anything they have estimated. It's a very powerful, the clouds generate a very powerful temperature and climate stabilizing mechanism. The variation in the cloud cover, the clouds cast great shadows. The first important issue is that 70% of the Earth is made out of ocean. And the oceans are where all of the activity is, where virtually most of all of the clouds are generated and built. And that there we have this very powerful thermostat that the clouds cast shadows when they have been created. The shadows stop the evaporation of water. So the cloud cover, since we're not making clouds anymore, they disappear on their own. They evaporate or leave by precipitation. And so that then reduces the cloud cover, and you get a very strong equilibrium that is set by all of this. And this in turn controls the climate, the temperature. And so from all of this, the conclusion is that we do not have a climate crisis. We do not have global warming. We do not have threat of increased frequency of extreme weather events. In the reports of an observed increase in extreme weather events are totally bogus. Those were made mostly by NOAA, National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Association. And they totally fudge the data. The net result is that we do not have a climate crisis. And I assert this is all good news, actually, on two fronts. One, our planet is not in peril. And number two, we should and can stop spending trillions of dollars that are just being wasted, that are causing actually not thermal runaway of the atmosphere, but inflationary runaway, if you will, of the world economy. There's the trillions of dollars being spent are grossly wasted and could be certainly put to better use for the world economy and for the betterment of mankind.
So you stated that the computer models that scientists use for predicting the climate in 2030, 50, 60, 70, they are problematic. That's what you said?
The computer models are bloody awful.
So what is the problem with it?
They use the wrong physics.
Okay.
These were done mostly at the Goddard Institute for Space Studies, which is where I wrote my PhD thesis many years ago. And they can't predict anything correctly. They can't predict the Earth's albedo, as in what is the total reflectivity of sunlight, and they're off by big numbers. And further, there appears to be somewhere buried in all of this some major error being made. I haven't found that one yet. But the net result is that the computer models are all in violent disagreement with the observations. Mm-hmm. They can't, and they haven't been able to predict the temperatures, and they haven't been able to predict the power balance of the Earth by major factors. Simultaneously with that, the observations made from satellites, made from monitoring the ocean heat content with these large chains of buoys, are all in violent disagreement with each other. There has been no resolution of all of this, the discrepancies among them. And the people who are actually doing the work are aghast and admit, look, the methodologies that we have here from the satellite radiometry data and more from the ocean buoy data are totally incapable of making the measurements to the desired degree of accuracy. So the net result is they are still told, well, you got to come up with a number. So they just fudge the data. And they fudge it to the politically demanded answer that, yes, we must have global warming because we told you right at the very beginning we had global warming. That's our story, and we're sticking to it, even if you can prove that it's wrong. So this is a travesty, I think, for the hope for honesty of science.
So why do you think they stick to it, like, except because they told so in the past, and they
once you start on the road and telling people they need to spend massive amounts of money, and then they do spend the massive amounts of money, the people who nobody wants to admit, if you're a politician, that you just wasted a few $1 trillion. That's number one. Effect. The number two effect is that you've now created huge industries. You've created the electric vehicle industry. You've created massive changes in the electric power generation industry, switching away from fossil fuels. Totally ridiculous. And then there are additional crazy things being built in that I'm learning about, and I still don't understand, where the politicians, for some reason, are saying, well, we got to get rid of not just fossil fuels, we got to get rid of nuclear power. Totally crazy. I have no idea how and why they're doing this, but and so once you have created these new industries, you need to defend them, because if you now try to tear them down, you're destroying jobs, and the people that you have put into these new jobs would be out of work. So there has this amazing inertia that goes on into this whole process, even when it is past any reasonable bound of insanity.
Yeah. Like in preparation for this interview, of course, I Googled what I found about you on the internet. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, he has won the Nobel Prize in physics 2 years ago. And now he's denying the climate science, or he's trying to, say that the assumptions that a lot of climate scientists have are just simply wrong.
I agree. Yes, I am doing that. Yes, and in fact, but I could go one step further than that. What in my talk here and another one recently, I can put my finger exactly on where all the data are fudged, and point out and this is not an easy thing. Claiming that other scientists have been dishonest, but somebody's got to do it. And being retired, I'm not in any fear of losing a job. my job overdoing it, so I can in fact be an honest whistleblower, if you will.
Yes. So do you think it would have been different if you haven't been rewarded the Nobel Prize? Like if
nobody would listen to me.
Yes.
All that the Nobel Prize does is it gives you somewhat enhanced credibility. And so, yeah, I'm all right. I'm exploiting that.
What do you think about green energies? So, because it's always said that green energies are the solution, and we need more of that. We need more water.
Nonsense. Total nonsense.
Okay.
The energy industry should stand on its own feet. Just like the electric vehicle industry, etc. The subsidizing various industries, trying to shift the balance artificially is totally insane. So all of these various effects where you're attempting to artificially subsidize industry, the carbon caps, the carbon credits, the carbon taxes are insane. The industry, and they're effectively grossly imbalancing the economy. An industry should stand on its own economically, in my opinion. That is one of the things that's causing these total wastes of trillions of dollars, is subsidizing industries that really don't make sense.
And I think that also sticks, or it comes to your. Is this the reason why you came to the conclusion, or it's one of the statements that you had, that there's a real problem with providing a decent standard of living to the growing world population with those energies.
Well, frankly, I'll go actually a little bit further than that and say the world has definitely reached some sort of a population limit, and we're seeing a huge runaway population increase. And this is being observed where we have these massive migration efforts from Africa into Europe, from South America and Central America into United States and Canada, farther north. What has happened is that our economies cannot really support our populations. And so wasting trillions of dollars is totally insane. The least you can do is use them to add benefits to society. They can be much better spent. Rather than just throwing them away in foolish pursuits of green energy and the like, when it doesn't make any sense.
Maybe there's an easy answer to that question, but why do you think no one, politicians and scientists, are not talking about the destruction of the environment instead? Because a lot is going on in the rainforest, for example. A lot of trees are teared down.
I'm not convinced that it's all that bad. Well, I mean, you will destroy the environment, if you will, to do anything. Just building a house to live in. You're digging holes. You're destroying the environment. You're cutting down trees to make the lumber to build a house. Yes, of course, you are affecting the environment just by living. But there's no reason why this can't be done in a far equitable fashion. I am not really worried about the Amazon rainforest. I think they will do just fine. There's no reason that we can't really coexist with our environment, if you will. But the biggest problem still is that the world needs to somehow, by whatever method, and I'm not going to advocate anything in particular, but it needs to control its population. We can't get too many more people are impacting and using up the natural resources of the planet. That is, I think, our biggest problem at the moment.
So resources, the use of resources.
We are running out of resources given this huge population that we have ended up with. So what? And for example, China, with whether or not you approve of their methods or whatever, went to efforts and successfully controlled their population. Industrialized populations seem to do it automatically. That once a population becomes self-sufficient and industrialized, it's the automatic, and I don't know why this is, but it seems to self-stabilize. The poor agrarian-based populations do not do that, and tend to increase uncontrollably. And the grand comparison, I would think, it would be between China and India. China controlled her population, was growing explosively and controlled it, and is now the dominant economy of the world. India did not, and she is not the dominant economy of the world, but still has a huge population. So I would claim that the reason that China actually has the dominant economy is the fact that she did control her population. And it wasn't all that draconianly bad. They did it in, I think, a rather a reasonably harmless fashion. So I have great congratulations to them for doing that.
Okay. One last question. Is there something you want to give to the population, tell the population in Europe and maybe also in the US what we should do? So what would you like the people to do?
The first thing that I would like to see is get rid of all the dishonesty, get rid of the disinformation that is being put forth, all the weak excuses that are being offered for lame policies. Even more lame excuses are being offered. For the government and the media, all in the start need to be to get a dose of honesty, if you will, and make rational decisions, and not be satisfied with lame excuses.
Thank you for this interview,
My
Dr.
pleasure.
Closer. It was a pleasure.
Okay, great.